Welcome to Intuition 888. I'm Rochelle Richutu, your host for this channel. In today's video, we are going to talk about what if I focus on what I want. Reason why I chose that topic is because often we see people focusing on what they don't want, on the things that they actually don't desire for their life, on the goals that they don't want for themselves. But most importantly, sometimes you set a goal and instead of focusing on how you're going to get to that point, to that specific goal, you start focusing on all the obstacles, all the things that are they actually not helpful at all. For example, you're trying to recover from an addiction. If you keep focusing on the things that they are not working in that recovery journey, it's going to be extremely painful, extremely painful. So, I wanted to leave a few important thoughts for you to reflect on, okay? Because your thoughts and your reflections are extremely important for you to be able to put into action the next step, the next step of coming from a negative focus to a positive focus, okay? So reflect on those questions. Have you been focusing on the lack of something instead of on all the beautiful things that you have? And when I say all the beautiful things that you have, it could be yourself living starving. Like I see in my country, in Brazil, people extremely poor, right? But it's quite interesting to observe because some of these people, they actually quite joyful and happy on the way they live. And then we ask ourselves, I ask myself this question quite often: what makes them feel this way? What makes them feel positive when life is collapsing in areas that are requiring the basic human needs, right? So, where you put your attention, where you put your energy is where it's going to grow. So if you keep looking into areas of lack, if you keep looking into areas of scarcity, chances are that this is what you're going to get more and more and more, right? But look at if we're talking about people who are really suffering in the world and so, there is more behind the scenes. So we're not going to get necessarily to that conversation, but I want you to analyze your personal experience. How do you think? How do you perceive the situation in your life right now? What are you doing with your goals that you have? Do you start really well and focusing on the right direction, or along the way you lose track and you start focusing on all the things that you don't have, or you start focusing on all the things that they're not going right? Whatever way you are observing yourself, remember, we are not here to judge how you perceive life at this point. We are here to observe how you perceive life at this point. So reflect on the second question: how does focusing on lack contribute to your abundance? And when we talk about abundance, it's really important that we clarify abundance is not all about money, as most people think. Abundance is not all about money. And I'll give you a very simple example. And the very simple example is you can have an abundance of negative thoughts. You can have an abundance of positive thoughts. You can have an abundance of money. You can have an abundance of lacking money. So, abundance, the way you think, feel, and behave about something, it's what is going to create the abundance. So, what have you been experiencing regarding abundance? Are you looking at your life generally and trying to observe how abundant you are? Because in reality, right? Often we look at all the places and areas that we are lacking something. We might have a beautiful home, we might have food in the fridge, we might have a car to drive, we might have the I have clothes, I have clean water, basic human needs, and it's still not enough. And you still think you are poor. Maybe there is a need for reflection. What are you comparing yourself to? Are you comparing yourself to the neighbor who has much more than yourself financially, but you don't know how he is in other areas of his life? Oh, but he's amazing, he's great, he's this, he's that. We don't know. We don't live this person's life. And it's really important to reflect on this and observe that the grass is not necessarily greener outside. It's simply our perception or the focus that we're giving towards something that we don't have yet or that we would like to have it and we don't. And most probably we don't yet for many different reasons. One of the reasons is where focus goes, energy flows. So think and reflect about this third question. Is what you are focused on your true desire? Hmm. What you want right now, is it something that you truly want? Or is it something that you are wanting because someone else likes that, because someone else told you, because they think it's good? Is that your choice or is that someone else's idea? And last question for to start with. Does your desire have anything to do with fulfilling the expectations of others and the expectations that others have for you? This is very important because often we create goals and we create different desires and we want to achieve something. And if this something that you are after is not necessarily something that truly resonate with your higher self, with your true self, but something that has been constructed based on attachment, based on insecurities, or based on expectations, then perhaps it's not yours. So reflect on this. Returning back into the example that we use about someone in recovery. Are you trying to go to recovery or you are in recovery because you want, or you doing it for someone else, or because it's someone else's desire in a family, for example? If you are doing it, that needs to come from within. If you're trying to reach a goal, I want to be a millionaire, for example, why are you doing it? Is that your idea or someone else's idea? Are we fulfilling um someone else's goals? Important questions for reflection, you know? And I want you to have clarity about your dream. I want you to have clarity. Sorry, my My voice is just weird at the moment because I have been a bit sick. So, having clarity about your goals are really important. Having clarity about what you want is really important. Having clarity about what you feel regarding those goals and desires and wants is really important. Do you feel excited? Do you feel joyful? Do you feel you wake up and say, and I'm not saying it's going to, the focus is to be like, easy. I wake up every day excited and I'm going to push through the limits because I love it. I love being, you know, healing so much, doing recovery day in, day out. I love working my ass off for a project. Maybe some people do. However, you need to have balance, right? So I invite you to and suggest you to observe, what are you feeling? What are you feeling about that goal right now? First, observing where it's coming from. Secondly, where is your focus? Are you focusing on everything that you already have, already achieved, and where you're going? Or are you focusing on everything that you're lacking on this journey? Everything that you think that might be easier for others, that you think that others have better or more easier than you. And the first and most important lesson in this conversation is mind your own business. Mind your own business. You cannot achieve or go anywhere if you keep paying attention on what is happening on the neighbor's house. It's not possible. How can you take care of your own shelter in the best way if you're sitting on the window just observing what is happening with your neighbor 24/7? Your entire focus is there. Your entire focus is not in here, not in you. And that's where everything goes wrong. So when you observe those parameters, I want you to think about that dream of yours, that goal of yours. And when you have that very clear, when you have that precisely hitting your heart, knowing from fact that, okay, it might require a lot of practice, it might require a lot of energy, it might require a lot of work, it might require a lot of me, a lot of study, a lot of knowledge, a lot of things that I haven't done before, a lot of practices in all possible ways. But I am willing to do, but I'm willing to learn, but I'm willing to step outside of my uncomfortable zone. I don't like calling comfortable zone because that is not correct. You are only in that zone because you're already uncomfortable and you want to be on the familiar side of things. So, stepping out of that is very important. So, where are you living right now? Where are you living in your mind? Are you the type of person who have clarity? Are you the type of person who have clarity about where you're going, what you need to do, how you need to do? Are you focusing on your lane? Are you following through your lane, or you're just like going sideways and starting to think about something else? There's nothing worse than when you work with a competitor, right? So let's say a bodybuilding competitor, and they get really excited in the beginning, right? But when you go and you go to this to the show time, there's a lot of mind games that happens. If you don't focus on yourself, if you don't enter that space and that space of heart and just literally go inward and just Be in tune to what is happening for you and focusing on all the incredible work and strength that you put into that show, then chances are your competitor is going to demolish you because it's quite easy to control or dominate someone who's weaker in the mind, who's comparing themselves to someone else or something else. So keep yourself in line. Every time your gaze goes sideways, you pull it back. Stay in line. Stay in line. If you are choosing to leave, or I wouldn't say choosing, but now that you are very much aware about your dream and where it's coming from, if it's coming from someone else and you're trying to leave someone else's dream, it's time to get very clear about that. It's time to let go of that. Find your own dreams. Find what really truly connect with yourself at a deeper level, not superficial, because otherwise you're going to keep following through, trying a dream that is not yours. And when you do that, you enter a space of frustration. You enter a space of resentment. And when we hold on those very heavy emotions, they become really impactful, mind, body, and soul. So think about this. I want you to reflect on the goals that you have, for instance. All right. So, am I living the dream that is mine or someone else's dream? Write down what you know in your heart will be the best dream for yourself. What is the best dream, the best goal that you want to focus on today? I want to stay clean and sober. Okay, what does that truly mean to you? Or means that I'm not going to drink anymore. It means I'm not going to use drugs anymore. It means that I'm going to stay focused on this. Okay. Is that something that you want or is that something that someone else's want? Okay. You got the clarity you want, right? Perfect. So write down, this is a practice right now for you. 30 reasons why this dream is what you want. And when I say give me 30 reasons why this dream is what you want, it's not superficial reasons. I don't want to hear what are the reasons that you have, the justifications and reasons that you're going to give that they are not connecting with your heart truly. Your why is the most important thing that keeps you in line and keeps you connected to yourself and to your goal, not lacking on what you don't have. So think about the 30 reasons that you have. Read these reasons out loud every morning for the five, for the five, for the next 7 days. For the five, high five. For the 7 days, okay, ahead. I doubt it. I absolutely doubt it that you will be off track when you connect with the true reasons. I absolutely doubt it that you are going to go and focus on your neighbors, that you are going to focus on something else instead of focusing on what you already have and how you can get to the next step, to the next goal to achieve that dream. On the seventh day, I invite you to reflect on those questions. Who do I need to be even more in order to live this dream? Who do I need to be in order to live this dream? Either if you are trying to stay sober, even if you are someone trying to win a competition, right? Even if you are someone who's trying to achieve financial freedom, or in that could come in many ways, shapes, and forms, right? Whatever your goal is, whatever your dream is, who do I need to become in order to get there, in order to achieve that? Because reality is only one. You can only experience your dream once your identity has accepted that as a truth. If this is your truth, if this is becoming who you are, or you are becoming your dream, then there's no way. You got it. You got it. You got the trophy. You got the sobriety. But if you still continue behave and act in ways that they are related to your old ways of being, the old ways that you used to act and behave, the old ways that you used to perceive life, deal with things in life, then chances are that your dream and your goal, it's going to go out of the window, or perhaps might come to you and you will feel lacking on something. It will be coming in for a split second of time, you feel fulfilled, and after you just go, something is missing in my life. The grass is greener on the neighbor's house. And I bet you don't want that for yourself, right? Okay. The second thing I want you to reflect: what is the first thing I need to do to live my dream? If your dream was possible, if your goal was possible, if you were focusing and working through all these changes, right? These modifications in your identity in order to live that life. What would be the first thing that you do if your dream was already reality? Oh, but I can't do it because I don't have the possibilities or the ability to do that yet because I don't have that goal. If was possible, what would be the first thing that you do? Fake it until you make it. Sometimes they say that, right? And please don't take this in a wrong way. But sometimes we do need to act and behave as if this dream was already done, if this goal was already done. If sobriety was on the table right now, how would you behave? There's no other way for you, just being a person who doesn't drink. Simple as that. How would you behave and act? What would you choose when you go out? What would you say to people? So think about that. And number three, what is the second thing I need to do to live my dream? What is the second thing that you would do? What do you need to do? If that goal is possible, that dream is possible, what would you do? Number one and number two. I'll tell you what I did. What I did was essentially create a map. I had first clarity about my goal, about what I wanted. And I set a belief in my head that no matter what would happen, no matter what would come, I would never, ever, ever, ever give up. And understand that you are always in the game when you don't give up. You come out of the game, you're not in the arena anymore when you decide to just quit. So, this was me. From that mindset, I had bad days, I had good days, I had a lot of bad days. I still kept standing up and going again. That's one thing. Second thing was creating a plan and a strategy. The goal was always the same goal, the same dream. The strategy I had to adjust several times. I would adapt if I needed to, but I would not change the goal. I would just implement new strategies, new tools if I feel like was necessary. Keep what is working, remove and change what is not. That's my advice. So, besides all this conversation, 30 minutes almost conversation that we had today, the most important thing is what you're going to do with all this. Because if you're just watching this video and you're not putting into practice, you're not putting into action, it means absolutely nothing. So take what you need from these videos and please go and act on it. Go and put some action in place. Then come over and tell me here. Tell me what happened. Tell me how did you feel with your actions. Tell me if you're still putting your attention in the wrong ways, in the wrong places, or if you are right on track, no matter what. You keep going, keep going. You keep going, but with awareness. Because in this channel, you're going to see me talking that I don't agree on. Keep going no matter what. You have to keep pushing it through. There are times and times for this, places for this. And I agree. And I come from this type of background. But now, the way I think, feel, understand, and work with people, it's much more gentler. And the results are way better. So bring a bit more understanding and compassion towards yourself and come and tell me here, how did it go? I would love to hear your story. If this video resonates with you, please just hit the subscription button and drop a like, and let's grow and create a community here, bigger and bigger and bigger, because this is a new channel. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.